So a lot of earnings today. Two major Nifty companies will come out with numbers today. The first one being Asian Paints, and then we also have Axis Bank. Axis Bank will come out with numbers after market hours, but Asian Paints Agam will be during market hours. Firstly, what are the key numbers that we should watch out for?
Sure, Darshan. So prima facie is going to be a very good quarter because we are working on a low base. So when it comes to the top line, we're expecting about near 16% growth on a year-on-year basis. Margins are expected to remain largely flat at around 19.5%, and consequently we could also see profits move up by as much as 10 to 11%. Now again, in terms of the way we're looking at comparisons, this is essentially on the low base, which is why we're looking at an uptick with respect to the top line.
Yeah, so volume growths will be important. We've seen that that's been extremely positive for companies like HUL that came out with numbers. So what's the volume growth number that we're looking out for Asian Paints?
Right, Darshan. So we are expecting a double-digit volume growth with respect to the decorative segment. But what we have to remember is that again, this is on the back of low base. Should we see, and again, Asian Paints doesn't give us the volumes growth, but should we see analysts estimate anything over 12% with respect to volumes growth, that means that it is not just the low base effect, but we've also started seeing genuine pickup in demand. So that certainly will be taken as a positive for Asian Paints.
Okay, so once the numbers are out, what are the important factors that our viewers need to watch out so that they can decide whether this is a good number or a bad number?
Right, Darshan, a lot has been spoken about margins. We have to remember that margins are very critical because of the fact that we've seen an uptick in crude. Sequentially, of course, we have seen a substantial uptick, but even on a year-on-year basis, there could be an impact because of which we are expecting a slight contraction in margins at around 19.5%. We'll be watching out for that. We'll be watching out for how their mass or the economy segment is doing, because Asian Paints so far has taken advantage of this premium segment, but that is just as crucial and also very important to its margins and of course outlook in general in terms of what they have in store for the next couple of quarters with respect to distribution and expansion.
Okay, so that's what we need to watch out as far as Asian Paints is concerned. But the other important number that will come out after market hours will be Axis Bank, and Axis Bank doesn't disappoint to surprise us, because the last few quarters they've been reporting some weird divergences that come out, and the market's been pretty shocked about it. So first, before that, let's talk about this divergence issue that happened. What happened in the second quarter?
Yes, it surprises on the negative side, unfortunately. Yeah, so in the second quarter, they reported significantly higher slippages, and that was driven by RBI's divergence assessment. Now, the gross NPA divergence for FY17 stood at about 5,600 crores, which was spread across 9 accounts. So not only that, but the slippages from outside the watch list and outside of RBI assessment also were significantly higher. And on the back of that, Axis Bank had revised their credit cost guidance for FY18 upwards. And also remember that in November, the bank had raised 11,600 crores from investors, including Bain Capital, which was also called as confidence capital after the disastrous set of numbers that they reported in the second quarter.
So anything on this divergence front expected in this quarter?
No. So it's an annual divergence that RBI audit was already completed for Axis Bank in the last quarter. So at least no surprises on that front. They've reported it. It's done with. What we will need to watch for this quarter is how the slippages and the watch list portfolio does, and also its IBC account linked provisioning. So for this quarter, basically, even operationally, it is expected to be a weak quarter. Net interest income is also expected to grow just at a single digit number that has been happening for the last 4 or 5 quarters. Dip in the net or treasury gains is also likely to lead to lower net interest or non-interest income, and on account of that, the provisioning number will, the operating profit could be lower. But as far as the net profit number is concerned, it will look optically higher only because of the high base effect. So net profit is expected to come in at 818 crores versus 580 crores last year. So it looks like a jump of 41%. But that apart, loan growth, at least that is expected to come in at a steady 20%, because their SME and retail portfolio growth has been pretty strong. But having said that, asset quality pain is expected to continue, with slippages are expected to remain higher. Remember, the bank has a total outstanding loan of about 7,000 crores to about 20 accounts under IBC. So broadly, asset quality pain is expected to continue this quarter as well.
Okay, so asset quality probably will be the most important factor that you need to watch out of Axis Bank's financials that come out, and in most cases, Axis Bank will report numbers after market as today.